Alright, so quick review. Yesterday we drove Midtown. We got in our double left turns. We got in one of our double right turns, which for whatever reason a little bit harder to find here in town. Got to deal with some 45-mile-an-hour speeds after just going 35 on day one. We got some of those multi-lane roads in. Today, gonna kick it up a little bit more, put some new stuff in front of you. Y'all both did very well yesterday. Again, we're gonna keep adding things. Just like any other day, if you got questions or I explain something you don't understand it, let me know. I can explain it another way or explain it again or show you. We're also gonna, towards the second half, we're gonna start working on our turnaround maneuvers. So we already did circle the block, which is the easy one. We're gonna start our 3-point turnaround on our left side road and right side road. All right, y'all got any questions before we get started? All right, so first thing, what do you gotta check before we get started? Seatbelt. So remember, you gotta check the passenger, not just yourself. All right, so we're in a parking lot. So what do we gotta do before we pull out? We gotta turn on our, your hazard lights. All right, so that makes all 4 corners light up. And then we're gonna back out to the right, because that's gonna be practice for when we do our turnaround maneuvers, because always backing to the right. All right, so remember we got our camera down here. We want to glance at it before we start, because like today it can show us a little bit more that we can't see here in the dark. That reminds me, remember driving in the dark again. Notice we had a little bit of rain last night, so once we get some traffic, we want to give ourselves a little bit more space in between other cars. It gives us more stopping distance, because again, that road might be wet. Might have some dirt, some sleeves and stuff that's been washed out on the road to kind of cut down on our traction. All right, let's go ahead. Now you can remember controlling your speed with the brake, looking over this right shoulder as we're backing to the right. Turn a little bit quicker. Remember, a car going slow and turn the wheel quick. That's good. Now you want to come to a complete stop while you're looking back. There you go. All right, now you can turn your hazards off. Shift to drive. And we're going to go down here to the end, and we're going to take a right. Exit our parking lot. Remember, we got our sidewalk here that we got to check for pedestrians. Key thing to remember here too, driving in this parking lot's a lot different right before school, and we're going to go left here. Good job with that signal. Because again, when you get here during a school day at 8:15 or 8:25, you're a whole lot more likely to have those pedestrians showing up. To our stoplight, and we're going to take a right. Notice we got a one-way street here. Remember, 3 parts of our turning right on red. We've come to a complete stop. There's no sign up there that prevents it. So now we just got to check traffic. Our view's a little bit blocked there to the right. And now we can check our light screen, so you're good to go. We're going to stay in our inside lane. Good job. Getting much smoother on those turns. the things we talked about yesterday, start or slowing down a little bit sooner, just so we got that cushion between us and that car. Much better. Remember to leave that gap between them. We're going to stay in our middle lane here. Notice this lane splits. So as long as before that line we determine which lane we're going to, you have lane choice. Start looking ahead. Got a red light. I'm going to start slowing down. Stop. Could we take that car next to us and put it between us? Go ahead and stop. See how that car, if we put it over, it'd be pretty close to fitting in, so we're going to give us just a little bit more. Especially here in Wilmington with as much traffic and many rear-end collisions as we got, you can give yourself a little bit more room. So when you look behind you and you see a car, or you hear those brakes screeching, you can pull forward and maybe keep yourself from getting hit. There you go. That also gives us, as we're driving here near the hospital, a lot of ambulances drive through here. We just left where the police station's at. So again, lots of emergency vehicles. That gives us plenty of space to get around them. Your speed coming down this hill. Notice how it picks up a little bit. It's real easy to speed through here. And we got the opposite effect when we're going uphill. Slows us down. You may have to give it a little bit more accelerator. Pedestrians, they got that nice crosswalk. You still get a lot that want to walk across the street for some reason. School, just a difference in an hour. When we switch and your brother's driving back this way, it takes about 15 minutes longer to do the same route in reverse. We're going to go straight, even though this is a through in the left lane. Remember yesterday is where we took our double left turn. You got to be careful, because sometimes if even if you're wanting to go straight and you see that car in front of you take a left, it can throw you off a little bit if you hadn't seen the sign and know, okay, this is a both lane. And once we do get our green light, we want to check for red light runners. Just a quick glance. Good job. Adrian, in the classroom portion, did you get 100 on your sign test at first try? The signs test. So the one that was just signs, the first one. Okay. Remember, as we're riding along and you're observing, keep an eye on the signs. Another thing, start looking at road names. A lot of students are used to their side of town, and myself also. Once I started driver's ed, I learned a lot of road names I didn't really know. Because you're used to riding with your parents and you don't really look and say, oh, this is Independence. So that's what takes me back towards the mall or Shipyard, which goes back towards y'all's house over near Roses and all. Lane position and your speed control has gotten much better since that first day. Do you feel like you're doing better? Yeah. And that makes a difference in being able to do the harder things when you're not constantly having to look down at your speedometer and you're going up and down and up and down, and what we call a pinball effect, where you get over to the right side, then you turn to the left, and then you hit the yellow line, and then you turn back to the right. Since we will finish up next week, you'll also need to start looking for an appointment on the DMV's website. You can check the Wilmington location. I would also suggest checking the one that's in Burgaw and the one up in Jacksonville. Because the one in Jacksonville, for whatever reason, has been the easiest to get a close appointment. Drive up there, but that saves you 2 or 3 weeks earlier getting your license, or having to go to one of ours and waiting for 4 hours to get a walk-in appointment. Good job checking those red light runners. Double left turn here. We're going to stay in this lane. Remember, we got to stay in the outside lane. We'll have our dotted lines as we go through. Got space in there. Good job. sometimes you'll see the other cars in front of you change lanes in the intersection. Even if nobody's over there, we want to stay in our lane as we go through. And if you know you're in the right spot and you see them get over, that's fine, stay in your lane. Easy on your speed, easy. There you go. Good job. Remember, sometimes on those left turns, especially if you're further away from the turn, you gotta slow down. Even though you got a green light, sometimes you gotta slow down in that turn to where you're at that point where it's the sharpest part of that turn, and then you can start accelerating back out. Alright, so good job on that first half of our lesson. Again, that section 17 is a little bit different when you got a lot of traffic, but there's a lot of lanes, a lot of lane changes. Went from 2 lanes to 3 lanes, back to 2 lanes. A lot of stoplights and not as much traffic this morning, but you did very good there. So as we come up here on the next half of town, we're going to start to hit a little bit more traffic and have the same issues. We're going to go from 2 lanes to 3 lanes up here and have a lot of turn lanes. As we go down College Road, we're going to hit a good bit more traffic on the other side.